Hello, my name is Bree, and this is my video discussion of Module 12, Internet Safety. The first question we had was, why is Internet safety so important, and what is your role as an educator in teaching Internet safety to your students? Specifically describe how you can teach Internet safety in your future classroom. I believe that Internet safety is a very important aspect with working in today's society with Internet advancements and online advancements as well. It's definitely the educator's role to help provide information about the internet and how dangerous it can be, and how you need to make sure that the student knows what they are doing, and to know if they get on a wrong website or interact with someone that's a threat to them, or perhaps not being how they should be on the computer. To make sure that they take note in that and get off of that website as soon as possible and come to someone that is able to help, such as an educator or a parent, and letting them know of that. Teaching them that that does happen will help them to know that it's okay if it does happen, and that they can still come to you with any concerns that they have about the situation. I believe letting the students know that we are there to help them and not criticize them will help them to be more willing to come to us if they ever do have an issue with internet policies and safeties. Question number 2 is, what were your thoughts after exploring NetSmart's website and completing the Teaching Digital Citizen training program? Do you feel the training program is relevant and useful for all educators? I do believe that it was a very useful website, and I did enjoy doing the training program. With that, they discussed inappropriate content, sexual solicitation, online privacy, sexting, and cyberbullying. And these are all aspects that people can deal with being online. And I believe it's an aspect that we do need to learn how to teach and foremost tell students about. If we're not able to relay to them about this information, how are they going to know that they are able to come to us with any of their problems or situations they may be having? With having like inappropriate content, they may have looked up something and found a website that might have had something related to their search, and they clicked on it and it turned out not to be something that they were expecting. With that, I would hope that my students would know to come to me and let me know of the situation once they've closed out of it, and if they haven't closed out of it, to come to me directly, and that I would get them taken care of, and we would make sure that we had it all taken care of. With that also is another major one of cyberbullying. That's one that's always a hard one to discuss with students, and knowing exactly if a child is being cyberbullied and if they will come to you about it. Which leads me into question number 3. Reflect on the main points described in the youth safety article, and describe what useful information you were able to take away from the article. The article in the beginning talked about cyberbullying and how it is still a real problem, and many people don't know how to deal with the situation of it. Because who's ever doing the bullying can still remain anonymous. It can be still a very big problem, and it gives the person that's doing the bullying a higher hand. Also they talked about how stop using the word cyberbullying and start using the word of victimization, and which can describe more types of negative behaviors besides just bullying. Many other bad behaviors that can consist also online. Also, sexual solicitation was also talked about on there. And it also talked about how you need to block those solicitators and make sure to leave the online forum that you're on if there comes to a point where you're being sexually solicited. Also, privacy and monitoring is a very big standpoint in this article, talking about how parents and teachers need to be involved with the privacy settings and making sure to monitor the youth as with what websites they are going to and what they are doing online. And I believe this was a great article to read, and also the online training program was great also. And I do believe it's going to be something that every teacher has to deal with talking to their students about online privacy and internet safety. I remember going to school and many of my teachers talking to me about it. And we also had to sign an AUP as well. And they still do that to this day. I mean, I worked in a school where I was working in an office for a couple of years, and every year at the beginning of the school year, I had to have students and parents sign them. And in order for a student to use them, they had to have that, or to use the internet, they had to have that paper and form signed by them and their parents as well. So it's still a very real thing, and internet safety is a very key thing with using the internet. And I continue to look forward to having advancements and new ways of teaching it. Thank you.